Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse, the show where we help you make sense of Thai politics.
What a week for Thai politics, Clare.
Exactly, it's been full of new developments and excitement.
And unexpectedly, we have an outside actor who has stirred up the Thai political scene. And we come back to that later.
Exactly, yes. People have been watching his Facebook lives, following his social media. Interesting.
Who is he? We provide you with an answer later on, right? But as we are speaking, I believe that Prime Minister Paetongtarn has already finalized or very close to finalizing her new cabinet lineup, barring last-minute changes. And with the departure of Thai Party, the new 10-party coalition government will be in control of only a slim majority in the House of Representatives. However, the coalition government is expected to count on additional support from dissident MPs in some of the opposition parties when it comes to voting on legislation.
Yeah, but the big question still is how long can the new Paetongtarn government last? Given the challenges that it is facing, the most threatening of all was the growing pressure for her to either resign or dissolve parliament to show responsibility for the disastrous phone conversation she had with the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen, right? The tensions between Thailand and Cambodia over the border disputes have escalated further after Hun Sen leaked the recording of the phone call he had with Thai Prime Minister, who actually called the Thai army commander an opponent, and even offered to make concessions to Cambodia to restore peace between the two nations.
And she has been accused by critics of having committed treason and selling out the country to Cambodia during her conversation with Hun Sen. And a series of charges have already been filed against the Prime Minister with a number of agencies over the phone call, while various anti-government groups have converged in a campaign to have her ousted. And as we are speaking, hundreds, if not thousands of people have already started converging at the Victory Monument, one of Bangkok's best known landmarks, for a major protest against Paetongtarn. And we talk about that later on.
Yeah, we can say that the young Prime Minister's political faith is now pretty much hanging in a balance. The reshuffling of the cabinet is seen by many political observers as an attempt to buy time. But now let's take a closer look at the legal cases that have been filed against her. A lot of petitions.
Yeah, the petitions for impeachment against the Prime Minister were filed with both the Constitutional Court and the National Anti-Corruption Commission. The petitions were filed by a group of senators and call for her ouster for allegedly, willfully violating the Constitution and seriously breaching ethical standards.
Yeah, those are very serious charges. The anti-corruption body has agreed to investigate the charges against the Prime Minister, while the Constitutional Court is expected to consider the validity of the case on July 1st. Now, meanwhile, a case against Paetongtarn related to the phone call with Hun Sen was also filed with the Election Commission by a lawyer. The petition accused the Prime Minister of conduct that could compromise national security and constitute a serious breach of ethical standards. It asked the Commission to consider dissolving the Thai Party and its coalition partners as well.
And that is not the end of the stories because two activists in the northeastern province of Khon Kaen have also filed charges against Paetongtarn on the same ground. And not to be outdone, a Deputy Secretary General of the Prime Minister who is in charge of political affairs has filed charges against Hun Sen himself. Hun Sen, the Cambodian strongman.
Yeah.
And the charges were filed with the Cybercrime Investigation Bureau in Bangkok, accusing the Cambodian Senate President of threatening Thailand's national security and causing division among the Thai people by leaking the phone conversation he had with our leader.
Yeah. Well, the charges against Hun Sen has actually further escalated the tensions between the two countries as well, because In a way, it triggered strong reactions from Cambodia, with the spokesperson for Hun Sen accusing Thailand of playing a childish game to mislead the public opinion and to cover up what he described as Prime Minister Paetongtarn's shame and weaknesses. Most political analysts concur that her phone call with Hun Sen has sealed her political faith. I mean, even Hun Sen can also sense that Paetongtarn days in the office are numbered. He actually predicted through a Facebook post that in 3 months, Thailand will have a new prime minister.
Now, we have no idea what his prediction is based on, but it's quite clear that Hun Sen and his son, Prime Minister Hun Manet, have been berating Thailand for its refusal to take the Thai-Cambodian border dispute to the World Court and for arbitrarily closing border checkpoints that severely affect trade and traffic across the border. And back on the political front, there has been speculation that Paetongtarn will try to tough it out with her new cabinet until after the budget bill is passed by the House and her government is able to push through certain pieces of legislation that include the one on the entertainment complex that is designed to legalize casinos. Her new government will also most likely try to implement populist policies that she hopes will help her party, Pheu Thai Party, in the next general elections.
Yeah, and she also wants to have her government oversee the annual reshuffles of the military, police, governors, and other important administrative personnel. And after all these are done, she's most likely to consider dissolving the House and call a snap election.
No, while the past 1 week saw Paetongtarn Shinawatra working hard to finalize her cabinet lineup, at the same time, she's also continued to be in her damage control mode.
Yeah, she's been for a while.
Trying to deal with the fallout from her disastrous
Yeah.
phone conversation with Hun Sen, the president of the Cambodian Senate. And Paetongtarn has been obviously trying very hard to project the image of a leader who is tough in dealing with what she herself has described as the most destabilizing threat to her administration, that is the border disputes with Cambodia.
2 days after the much publicized visit to the border areas in Ubon Ratchathani last Friday to show her solidarity with the army, Prime Minister Paetongtarn took another step to double down on her government's pressure on Cambodia. So she announced the launch of a campaign to take down scam centers based in Cambodia. She even cited a report of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, which described Cambodia as one of the world's biggest cybercrime bases.
And to demonstrate how serious her government is, she said she will invite international community to join forces with Thailand to tackle scam centers in Cambodia. And it's very interesting that only a few hours afterward, army commands in charge of security in areas bordering Cambodia followed up with announcements that all border checkpoints with Cambodia would be closed. The action taken by the Thai authorities prompted the Cambodian side to follow suit. They also closed down the checkpoints on their side.
We are sure that you must have seen the chaos at several of the border checkpoints, as hundreds of both Thais and Cambodians, as well as long lines of traffic, scrambled to cross the border to beat the deadline of the border closure. However, by weekend, Thai authorities have eased the restrictions at some of the border checkpoints, though officially they remained closed.
It's interesting to take note that the Prime Minister Paetongtarn did not say it out loud whether or not her sudden war on cybercrimes in Cambodia and the closing of the border checkpoint had anything to do with the fallout from her phone conversation with Cambodian strongman Hun Sen. And it's also equally interesting to note that cybercrime syndicates operating out of Cambodia have been a common knowledge among Thai security and law enforcement authorities for a long time. And despite the close ties between the Prime Minister's Shinawatra family and the Hun family in Cambodia, her government was not able to get the Cambodians to seriously help crack down on these syndicates.
Yeah, so the big question is it going to work now and why now, right? The reactions from the Cambodian side were predictable, like Prime Minister Hun Manet and his father Hun Sen, president of the Cambodian Senate, joined in the avalanche of condemnations of the Thai government's action. They see it as an attempt by Thailand to divert attention from the troubles the Prime Minister is facing in the aftermath of the phone conversation she had with Hun Sen. They are referring to the legal cases filed against Paetongtarn in connection with the controversial phone call and growing calls for her to either resign or dissolve the House.
No surprise then, the Cambodian media, which are tightly controlled by the government, were also flooded with news articles and opinion pieces overly critical of Thailand. And these are just among some of the hot-hitting headlines we have seen in the Cambodian media in the past few days.
Yeah.
And take a look at some of these headlines.
Yeah, this one says, Thailand's dangerous games at the border, inconsistency, manipulation, and irresponsibility. Another one reads, Thai diplomacy is becoming a joke due to unruly domestic complications. And this one, Thailand's threat game, self-destructive maneuvers based on outdated information.
No, but what particularly grabbed the attention of Thai people was how Hun Sen waded into Thai domestic politics. In their Facebook post, the former Cambodian leader predicted that within 3 months, Thailand will have a new prime minister. I already know who it will be, but I will not reveal it, Hun Sen said in his Facebook post.
Yeah, and in the same Facebook post, Hun Sen also blasted what he called groups of Thai intruders who have encroached on Cambodian territory and posted messages critical of him on his Facebook post. So he actually geo-blocked Thai audiences for a while, right? And then after he opened it, floods of comments came in from Thailand, and then he had to geo-blocked it again.
When you say flood of Thai comments, no need to say that they were all very critical of him, right?
Yeah, he also wrote, we can interpret this as an attempt to shift focus from that internal conflict to a confrontation with Cambodia.
Back on Paetongtarn's damage control mode, and to further demonstrate her support for the military, the Prime Minister made a quick visit to the border province of Sa Kaeo in the east on Thursday. The visit certainly made a lot of headlines. And she met with local and army authorities in Rajapakse district to discuss the impacts from the closing of the border checkpoint on the Thai-Cambodian border. And the Thai leaders' visit to the border area happened to coincide with a visit by Cambodia's former Prime Minister Hun Sen to the Cambodian side of the border in the province known in Thai as Udon Michai, to offer his moral support to the Cambodian troops and to meet with Cambodians evacuated from disputed border areas with Thailand.
Yeah. Throughout the week, Paetongtarn has been adamant that there was nothing inappropriate with her phone call with Hun Sen, which she insisted was supposed to be a private conversation meant to find a way to diffuse border tensions. She said, I gained nothing for myself and I did nothing damaging to the country. This is her opinion of the conversation.
And when she was asked about the case pending in the Constitutional Court, she said she is very confident that she will be able to explain everything to the court to defend herself against all the charges, especially charges of treason and charges of selling out the country to Cambodia.
Speaking of the Shinawat politicians, history shows that their governments have the tendency to face large-scale protests. I mean, as we speak, the third prime minister with the surname Shinawat is facing yet another demonstration.
Okay, now let's do a little history recap. Back in the days of Thai Party, when Thaksin Shinawat was prime minister, the group calling itself People's Alliance for Democracy, or PAD, led by Sonthi Limthongkul, a well-known media proprietor, gathered to protest against Thaksin's government. The accusations against Thaksin include many conflicts of interest and corruption, And back then, the efforts to restructure a number of state enterprises were highly contentious. The protest led to a coup d'etat which ousted Thaksin in 2006.
Then in 2008, the second prime minister from the family, we're talking about Thepchai Wongsawat, although not with the surname Shinawat, but they are related. So he was in position for less than 4 months, and he faced large protests organized by the PAD as well. Remember when he was blocked from entering parliament to read his policy statement? Sonthi Limthongkul was also there. And in 2013 and 2014, we're talking about Yingluck Shinawat now, the second prime minister with the surname Shinawat, also faced mass street demonstrations. This time, they called themselves the People's Democratic Reform Committee, or PDRC, led by Suthep Suban. And among the accusations were, number one, the move to push for a political amnesty bill that would allow Thaksin to return to Thailand. And number two was how the government was acting like a puppet for Thaksin. Does that ring a bell? Sounds familiar.
All right. And today, the third prime minister with the Shinawat surname, Kun Paetongtarn, is being accused of selling out the country. After the conversation was leaked in a audio clip we talked about last week, right? A group who call themselves United Power of the Land have been demonstrating for the whole week. The largest gathering is planned for today at the Victory Monument.
Yeah, they've been going around Bangkok since Monday. They went to the government house and then also went to United Thai Nations Party headquarters to ask for them to leave the coalition government, which weren't very successful. Okay. But anyway, the reason for choosing the Victory Monument, according to the group, is because the monument is a tribute to those who have fought to defend Thailand, never losing even an inch of our territory to anyone. So indeed, the Victory Monument was built in 1941 under the premiership of Field Marshal Black Vibun Songkram in order to praise the heroic deeds of soldiers, policemen and civilians.
So the United Power of the Land is calling for Paetongtarn's resignation. They alleged that her conduct was in violation of the criminal code and the constitution. On the surface, Kun Clare, this may look like another protest against the Shinawat political influence, right? But if you take a closer look at the groups or the leaders of some of these groups who form this alliance, you may be in for a bit of a baffle.
Let's listen to this quote. This guy say, I have never seen any prime minister of any country who cuts the head of its generals and offers it as a tribute to Cambodia like prime minister of this country. And this sentence came from Jatuporn Phompan, the former red shirt leader who used to support Thaksin with all he had. Jatuporn went to prison 5 times for cases related to his political demonstration in support of Thaksin as well. And Thaksin, in contrast, has never spent a day behind bars. No wonder Jatuporn is not happy.
Now, besides Kun Jatuporn, there are still other very interesting figures in this alliance, right?
Yeah, there were monks, Buddhist groups, people from all walks of life, basically. But among them is Seripisut Temiyawet, who was another friend turned 4. He came out to talk about Thaksin's 14th floor scandal. Seripisut's party, actually the Seri Rom Thai or Thai Liberal Party, back in 2000, back 2 years ago.
Yeah, in the election.
2023.
After the general elections.
Yeah, Seta government.
Yeah.
They only won 1 seat. And he actually asked for the seat of deputy prime minister, but Thaksin refused.
Yeah, because Seripisut believed that Thaksin owed him something.
Yeah.
And he wanted something in return, asking for a seat in the cabinet.
But he didn't get it.
And so he became very angry and then turned against Thaksin overnight.
Yeah, that was the breaking point. And then afterwards, Seripisut came out and talked about the 14th floor scandal relentlessly, even producing evidence for the investigation as well.
All right, and among one of the most prominent leaders of the protest against Paetongtarn is none other than Kun Sonthi Lim Thongkun, a very well-known media proprietor. Kun Sonthi, as we all know, used to be on good terms with Thaksin when things were rosy between them, right? But their relationship turned sour when Sonthi started to criticize Thaksin on his daily TV talk show back in 2005. And Thaksin back then was known to have far and wide influences then, including on the media industry. When Sonthi's show was put off the air, we saw Sonthi at almost every anti-Thaksin protest ever since.
He can label himself since 2006, so it's been around.
Another friend turned foe. In
exactly.
This alliance,
Yeah, so the so-called United Power of the Land group is not only made up of these yesterday's friends of Thaksin's. There are more groups from many walks of life, like I've said, who declared their intention to join the protest today. The group originally scheduled it for 6 hours, so from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 o'clock. But since we have the leaders who are familiar with long drawn-out political demonstrations, we will need to keep a close watch on how things unfold. And exactly today, I'm going to do a live streaming from on location as well. So I hope you keep following us. It's on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page, live from the Victory Monument.
All right. Okay, that's all for this week.
Yeah, that's it for this week. So hopefully I'll see you on the live stream at 5 o'clock, around 5-ish. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
See you then.